What is up, guys? It is your boy Jake, yet again, the power of the internet. Today, here's the thing can you tell us a little bit about yourself, guest?
How are you, Jake? This is MadDogDiSipio, host and producer of Wrestling with the Future podcast.
Thank you very much. And
Quite welcome. That shirt looks very nice on you. Very fine shirt,
by
by
the
the way.
way, um, and I'm also a little bit of an announcement. If you guys didn't know, that I work with Angelo on his show, Wrestling with the Future podcast. Future executive producer.
We're working on it, brother. We're working on it. This
Um,
is this is a little different for me, Jake. I'm not used to being the guest on the show, so
yeah,
I get usually I'm the one asking all the questions, but tonight
yeah.
they tell me you got a bunch of questions to ask me. So let's
Um,
have fun.
and by the way, guys, we are not. We're not. I'm not putting up comments. I'm not reading comments. We're just gonna bam, 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 bam because we only got 30 minutes with Mad Dog. Um, Number one, what do you think about like the I we have had you had Barbara Goodish on your show last week.
Barbara was on last week. Barbara, of course, is we lovingly call her Mrs. Bruiser Brody. That's she's Bruiser Brody's wife, and
Yeah,
you know who Bruiser was.
yeah,
He was
I
the
was there.
crazy man with the wild hair and beard, and of course, left us way too young.
Yeah. I just want to also say that like I said before, my prayer are going out to Jimmy Rabe's family. Unfortunately, this week we lost professional wrestler Jimmy Rabe. Jimmy Rabe worked for TNA,
Yeah.
CZW, and other promotions, and we and also I'm going to say this as part of wrestling with the future. We do send our condolences to the family.
Oh, absolutely. Jimmy Ray was a young guy too, and we
Yeah,
want to point something out, and I'm glad you brought that up. Um, Jimmy Ray was a really young guy, but he struggled his whole life with alcohol and drug addiction, and
yeah,
it cost him his legs. They
yeah,
amputated his arms. He had a real problem because the drugs like literally destroyed his life. And especially at a young age, you never want to see anybody pass away like that. So
yeah,
it hurts to lose somebody so young, especially somebody that was such a talented wrestler.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and I think the people that suffer, Jake, are people in the wrestling business and the fans because they don't get to see him anymore,
yeah.
and that's a
Um,
real shame. It really is.
I got so like I said before, I got a rant. I really, here I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I didn't
Right.
grow up with a father. Both my parents worked. My mom worked in an office. My dad worked in a truck.
Yeah.
I see these young rich kids buying wrestling companies, and I'm not gonna. And
Yeah, I
they and
know where
they
you're going. Trust me. Go ahead.
and they think they could hire like these big names like Sting, Cody, the Bucks, Omega, and all these guys. I'm not gonna say any names.
Can I
You
can
know
I
who I'm
tell
talking.
you what's wrong with the wrestling business, Jake? Do you mind? Could we have a little
Go ahead.
a very open conversation? Here's the problem: the wrestling business doesn't belong to the wrestling business anymore. It belongs to a bunch of rich, smart marks who have way too much money to throw around and not enough sense to know what to do with their money.
Yeah,
Okay? It used to be the wrestling business used to be run by wrestlers. That's when the business died, is when it stopped being run by wrestlers.
yeah.
Who knows the business better than wrestlers? Nobody.
Nobody cares.
How do you tell a businessman what professional wrestling is all about? He doesn't understand it. All he understands is how to make money. Well, that's fine for making money. But the wrestling business has with it an entirely different dynamic because it is sport, it's athletics, it's showbiz, it's theater, it's drama, it's a mystery. That's what wrestling is. That's what it's always been. It's always been a mystery. So the problem is when you have a businessman who doesn't understand all that, all he understands is how to make money. You better have somebody with you who knows the business. Luckily, and I'll say this and I'll say it one time and I'll be done with it. Luckily for Tony Khan, he's got a bunch of people with him who know the wrestling business because Tony does not. Cody does, Dustin does, the Bucks do. Okay? The guys in the back, they know the business. Tony Khan is a great guy. He needs to stick to making money. Let the other guys handle the business.
By the
Somebody
way,
just chimed in, Jake. Somebody said hi, Angelo.
That's Devon Tiffany. Devon Tiffany is actually a good friend of mine.
Oh, hello, Tiffany. How are you?
She is a. By the way, now with StreamYard, I could actually put the comments on the screen.
Sure.
Yeah, and Devon Tiffany actually does tarot cards.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Do you? I don't know if Tiffany knows this, but what I do for my shoot job, I'm a psychic and medium.
Yeah. And
but you already knew that.
I already knew that because I've saw some of the stuff that you've done.
Yeah, sure.
Shows. And the thing is, like I told you in the beginning, I'm honest enough. I've lost both my parents, my mom in 2009 cancer, and my dad in 2020 because my dad was from liver failure and kidney failure because of alcohol.
Yeah.
My dad was, and I'm not. I was telling you that because I wanted to get everything out in the open.
Oh, absolutely. Well, let me tell you something. Your parents are very proud of you. In case you don't know that, they're looking after you and they're keeping watchful eye. I will tell you that for sure. And one of the things, particularly, is that your father is expressing a great deal of pride over the fact that you found your own voice. It's very important, and you know what I mean by that. Yeah.
Thank you. It's the last year, last year and a half was hard. But
sure.
I got I got good family behind me. I got good people. And the thing is it's the one thing that I got some news. We like last Monday or I don't know, on Monday we went to the attorney's office to sign paperwork to sign the house over to me and my niece.
Right.
And that would be this house. I grew up in this house.
Yeah.
I grew up in this house. I love this house. This is the only house I knew that was my own. My dad would have wanted me to keep it.
You're absolutely right. And you're not going anywhere. That house is yours and it's going to stay yours. So don't worry about that, brother. I'll tell you that straight shoot. You're not going nowhere.
Devon Tiffany said, I'll read. You want to read that?
Oh, I see it. Thank you, Tiffany. Love and light to you too. Namaste.
But what do you think about now one of the stories is Johnny Gargano is now a free agent. What's that mean?
I'm glad he's a free agent. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Johnny Gargano was far too good for
Yes.
NXT. And I think WWE would have wasted his talent and his time. It's
Yeah.
nice to see him as a free agent. Maybe somebody will pick him up and pay him what he's worth and use him in a proper manner. When you're a good-looking young guy like Gargano, who can pretty much wrestle anybody under the table, let's be honest about it. The guy's amazing. He's a really great talent.
Yeah.
And he's still young. Remember that, Jake. Gargano was still a young guy. He's got a future ahead of him.
And his wife is pregnant.
Exactly. But this is the best time for him to be a
Yeah.
free agent. Sit back, and here's what I would do. Johnny, if you're listening, here's what I would do. Sit back, take some time with your family, let the offers come to you. Don't go looking for anything. They're going to come to you. My advice is sit back and let them come. Field the offers at home. Enjoy your family, enjoy your wife. When your baby is born, by the way, you're going to have a boy. When your baby is born, enjoy. Be a daddy, okay? The world needs more daddies and less wrestlers. You understand?
Yes. Yes.
There you go.
I want to say this from like um I last time I watched a full episode of WWE main product was a SmackDown, and it was because my niece wanted to watch it.
Brother,
Wanted to watch.
I, I'm laughing because I have to tell you something.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, boy. I haven't watched, and this, I'm not even lying, folks. If you think I'm playing on the, I'm not even playing. I swear to you, I haven't watched a full episode of any wrestling, any in almost 5 years. Okay,
Twenty
I can't
2015,
sit through it. I
2015,
cannot
2016.
sit through it. It's forget about WWE. Don't even ask me to sit down and try and watch Raw or SmackDown. Forget about watching NXT. I fall asleep, okay? It's boring. AEW, I like AEW, but they're starting to veer away from what they were originally doing. You
Yeah.
know, they started out with a bang, Jake. They
Yes.
started out like, gangbusters and doing it well
Bang,
and
bang,
doing it
bang,
right.
bang.
That was the
You know.
thing that I loved about it. They went out balls to the wall and they did it right. Now all of a sudden they're getting lazy.
Yeah.
It's like they know that they're in a good position and they're getting lazy because of it. They're not, they're sitting back and enjoying the applause rather than going balls to the wall and getting more people, more eyeballs on the TV. This is how you make money in wrestling television. The more people watch you, the more you make. Okay?
Controversy makes cash.
Exactly. Controversy creates cash.
Our good friend Mr. Vince Russo was the one that created that.
No, actually, it was Eric Bischoff who created that.
You said on the shows our friend Vince.
No, Eric Bischoff. What Vince Russo did,
Vince.
Vince Russo, he created controversy, but he created controversy the old fashioned way by creating a buzz, getting people to talk.
Um,
That's the thing. He got people to talk. You
you
know?
know, um, the one thing that you know I see people all the time saying, "Oh, I'm going over to Twitter. I'm going to get 50,000 followers." No, you're not. You're not going to get ninjas. Ninja work for that. Shroud worked for that. A lot of those guys
Yeah.
work for that. You got to start from the bottom. If you don't, here's the thing: network. Like what I did is I networked. I went to these streams. I went and networked.
Yeah.
And when I did my first stream, I had I have I'm not I'm a common folk. I'm a nobody.
Yeah. Can I tell you something, Jake? Let me share something with you because
Uh-oh.
I think it's important. You said something just now, and I hope to God that people heard what you said. You networked, okay? That's critical. I started my podcast 3 years ago. I had a guy with me. No, I'm sorry, not three, but like 2.5 years ago. I had a guy with me named Jeff the Ref Robinson. He was my co host. This guy knew more about wrestling than any human being I ever knew. Okay. Sadly, God called him home. Okay. So he's in heaven now. But Jeff
Yep.
the Ref is the reason that this show that I do, Wrestling with the Future,
Yes.
became such a huge hit. We started out 2.5 years ago with 100 people watching. All right.
Yeah.
2.5, almost 3 years later now, right?
Yes.
We're on 266 radio stations. We're on 304 podcast platforms around the world
And two TV stations
and 2 television stations.
plus a
But
couple
we still,
sponsors.
but here's the funny part, because you know where I'm going to, I laugh and you know where I'm going to go with this. YouTube, okay? We
Yes.
still suck on YouTube, but I don't really care because I'm not in the YouTube business. I'm in the streaming business.
Yeah.
Okay. If people want to watch the show, that's great. If they don't, I don't really
Yeah.
care, but I want them to listen to it. Listen to it in your car. Listen to it in the
Podbean.
elevator. Listen to it at the beach, at work, at home, at play. You know, you can listen to my show anywhere because we're all over the place. Okay. What bothers me though is when people put so much attention to YouTube. I got news for you, folks. This much of the population watches YouTube. Okay. This much of the population still listens to the radio and podcasts. That's where me and Jake are. We're in here. All
If you
right.
guys want to check out Wrestling with the Future, there's the link in the chat.
Absolute. Thank you so much, Jake. I appreciate that. So, yeah,
You
we're
know,
easy to find. The
yeah,
other thing I'd like to do, Jake, I want to put out an invitation. I want to
uh-oh.
invite your listeners and your viewers to
Yes.
share your experiences with me. I'd love to have you on my show. And Jake will tell you, because Jake is my new producer. So we're
Yeah.
we're doing this for each other. So in
Yes.
fact, you can see Jake later on my show, and my guest will be Miranda Gordy, the daughter of
Yeah.
Terry Bam Bam Gordy, one of the fabulous
Also,
Freebird. Yeah.
she was also she worked for she was the first ever USA Championship Wrestling Women's Champion.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir. Absolutely.
you know, and
She's a heck of a little worker. I got news for you. She's pretty good.
you know,
She's pretty
I
good.
I'm very excited to talk
I
to talk
am
to her.
too. She's supposed now, Jake. Maybe you know because you keep a pretty good a running idea of what's going on in wrestling. Let
Yeah.
me ask you a question: is she supposed to? And I because I thought I heard this. Is she supposed to go to MLW for like a tryout or a what's going on there? Or my
She worked at she did some shows at Ohio Valley Wrestling a few weeks ago. A
okay?
few, she's I have if you want me to look that up, I'll look it up if you want me to.
Well, yeah. The reason I want you to find out is because it's interesting because I had Brian Pillman Jr. has been on my show 3 times. The last time he was on my show, he was working for MLW, and then he got called up to the big time.
She got
And I think that I would like to think that maybe we had a little hand in doing that.
Yeah.
That's why I want to find out if Miranda is going to because if she is,
She's booked in MLW. I
I'm
got the
hoping that history will repeat itself. That's
yeah.
what I'm hoping for sure.
Um, the hardest thing, the hardest thing in wrestling is you got to, the hardest thing about the thing is the 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 here's the thing, the fans are paying that they're making like $290 a week
Yeah,
to go and spend $50 to $100 on a ticket now. By the way, now let me tell you something.
yeah.
A ticket to a guess how much a ticket to a the front row right on SmackDown. How much? Yes,
Yeah, about $200.
500.
$500.
$500.
Amazing. I
I'm
wouldn't
not.
give them, Jake, I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't give them 500 cents, okay?
Actually, this is not. This is. I'm gonna post this comment because I know who this is. This is actually our friend from the other from across the pond, the one that told us about each other.
Yes, yes. Bring him in.
Actually, he wanted to ask if how did you meet Jeff the Ref?
Jeff the Ref and I met through Kenny Bolin. Actually, we met through Kenny Bolin. Kenny Bolin is the guy
By the way, I'm
who,
drinking a Meliello. By the way, I'm drinking a Meliello. My mouth gets dry.
oh, well, here's the thing. Um, and I want to address the Kenny Bolin situation too.
Oh,
Um, I have no problem with Kenny. I like Kenny. He don't like me. That's as simple as that gets. Um, Jeff the Ref was a loyal listener to the Kenny Bolin show. I was a guest on Kenny's show, um, twice in fact, and
you also had him
so
on your show too.
yeah, and he's been on my show, um, and I think we've done well for each other. But Jeff the Ref and I met. He contacted me after my appearance on the Kenny Bolin show and said, um, I'd like to talk to you about your psychic stuff. And I said, absolutely, let's do it. And we talked, and we actually found out that we had quite a bit in common. And it was interesting that I think within a week of meeting each other, we were already talking about doing a podcast together. Because I've
Yeah,
said this before, I'll say it again. He was singularly the smartest guy I ever knew in the world
yeah.
in with wrestling knowledge. There's nobody, and I don't care who you are, nobody knew wrestling like Jeff the Ref Robinson, and I mean nobody. This guy was. Can I drop an F bomb? He was fucking brilliant.
Hey,
Okay.
listen, I if you don't know me, if you don't know this show, I drop f bombs a lot, including me having to tell two former people what I thought about them.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. You've heard my show. You
I
hear
was
how
on your
colorful I can get sometimes.
I was actually on your show on the barbecue, and we might have dropped like one f bomb
Yeah.
because
Well, yeah. Remember though, I went on a little tirade with Barbara Goodish. I
yeah,
get so angry when people badmouth Bruiser Brody. I just
yeah,
I love Bruiser Brody. I'll just tell you straight up. I'm a Brody Mark. That's me. I'm a Brody Mark. Um, but and what happens though is when people who have no knowledge about wrestling try to come across like they do, that bothers me because they're wasting everyone's time, my time, their time, your time, trying to sound like they know what they're talking about, and they don't have a clue. They just do not have a clue. And it bothers me.
yeah.
Now,
What
having
make
said that, I'll shut up.
what makes me so mad about like the wrestling fans that think they know there's fans that tweet Alexa Bliss, they
Yeah.
tweet the wrestlers, and they say, "Oh, that they know that person. You don't know that person. The only thing you've known about her is because was on fucking TV,
Exactly. Sure.
or they were on TV. And I do drop F bombs, but I know when we're around like Barbara
Yeah.
Kiddish, when we're around people like that, I know
Yeah.
when to not to
Well,
say that.
here's the thing, Jake. I understand it. I've been in this business, God, 45 years. Okay. It's a long time.
Former he was also a
I,
former
I, I
wrestler
ran
promoter.
my own, I ran my own promotion for 24 years. Okay. The rest of that time I worked for other companies. I worked for the NWA. I worked for WCW. I worked for Jersey, what was called NWA Jersey at the time.
Yeah,
Okay. And of course, NWA is pretty well only in name what it used to be, sadly. But I worked for the NWA when they were still like the NWA.
Trevor's a good champion.
Say it
I like
again.
Trevor. Trevor Murdoch is a good
Oh,
champion.
Trevor. Yeah, Trevor Murdoch.
Trevor's a good. It's a good champion. By the way, I did watch
Yeah,
NWA
you know what?
'93.
And I think Trevor is a great guy. Um, but I'm talking about NWA back in the day when Ric Flair was the
Dusty
NWA
Rhodes,
champion.
Dusty
Back when
Rhodes, Harley
Luther,
Race.
I'll show you how far back I go. Okay, because I'm an old guy. Back to the days of Luthez.
Ooh, that's
Okay.
back in the day.
Oh yeah, that's way back.
Yeah,
Back to
and
the days of Buddy Rogers, when Buddy Rogers was the NWA champion before he became the WWF champion.
worked for Vince Senior.
Worked for Vince Sr., then Bruno beat him to become the champion. And Bruno was champion forever,
Yeah,
in my
you
mind.
know, this is what I like about talking to fans like not fans like people like you is
No, I
you
am a
you
fan. Call me a fan, brother, because I am. I'm a fan.
you know, here's the thing. This is the reason why I don't I like I like I said before, the show Wrestling with the Future is 60s, 70s, 80s, and a little bit of the 90s.
Absolutely. Sure is.
And the reason I'm saying a little
Mhm.
bit of the 90s is because we do I have because we have like I don't know if we had not a little bit or not because we had Magnum TA. We have
Well, can I say something about that, Jake? I
oh
think that you put your finger on it when you say a little bit of the 90s, because here's why. And I think you might agree with me. It seems to me in the middle 90s, like 97, 96, around there,
yeah
that's
yeah
when wrestling seems to have taken a turn for the worse.
yeah
That's when wrestling we had Vince Russo, and we had the crazy bra and panties matches, and we had the Viagra on a pole match, and all this stupid shit.
Judy Bagwell on a forklift match.
Yeah, I'd like the
By the way,
really
R.I.P. Judy Bagwell. R.I.P. Judy Bagwell.
okay now. So like, but is that wrestling?
That's not wrestling.
That,
That's
that that's
gimmicks.
exactly.
That's
You
gimmicks.
made my points for me. You exactly made my points for me. It's a
You know.
gimmick. It's not a match. It's a gimmick.
You know. The thing
Here's what I
is
want people to know. When Jake Hudson gets on the air and he talks to you about wrestling and watching Raw and watching SmackDown or AEW or MLW, he's speaking from the heart as a fan.
yeah.
When I speak about those same things, I come across like a disgruntled old vet because I guess in a lot of ways I am. You know,
Uh,
I'm an old fart that wants my old wrestling back, you know?
Also, I also watch Rocky Mountain Pro,
I
Ring of
love
Honor,
Rocky Mountain. I'll tell you what I like, Jake. Tell me if you like these guys. Devotion Championship
Devotion.
Wrestling. Oh, I
Manny
love them
Lemons,
guys.
Manny Lemons, Rekatianka,
Yeah.
um,
Tombstone Jesus.
Two Stone Jesus, who actually had a heel turn. Now he now he's known as Tombstone Judas.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. See that and that's important because that, my friend, is called storytelling. And that's what's missing. That's what's missing from wrestling. It's the
Yeah,
storytelling. It's what happened to the art of psychology. What happened to,
yeah,
putting a move on a guy? Remember the other
yeah.
day when we were talking to Barbara Goodish and you said, what was Frank's finishing move?
Move.
He didn't have one. You know why? Because he used everything. Remember?
Yeah, sorry.
The big boot,
The big
the
boat.
elbow off the top. He was doing the elbow off the top rope years
Yeah,
before Macho Man Savage ever thought about it.
yeah. What one of the things now these people that think that they are wrestlers, these flippers, these guys who does flip and
Oh
stuff.
my God, the
You
flippers. I love you.
the flippers.
The flippers.
I
I love
I don't know what to call them because
it.
they're
You're exactly right. That's what they are, Jake. They're flippers. Flip, flop, and fly. That's what they do.
yeah. One of my issues is where these flippers they can't do it. Here they will never make it in the back in the day with Bruiser Brody, with like
No, my
but
God.
with Vern Gagne, Greg Gagne,
Yeah.
Stan Hansen,
Oh,
a lot
Stan the
of
Lariat Hansen. Are you kidding me? Let me tell you something, Jake. Stan Hansen's leg is bigger than Johnny Gargano, okay? Stan Hansen was a big, big old Texas boy. Let me tell you
yeah.
something. He'll put a hurting on you.
By the way, I also want to say that before we started filming, Angelo's dog got in the mix.
Oh boy, did he! He knocked my. You can't see it,
Yeah.
but I have lights,
Yeah,
shining at me.
lights. And by the way, and also, I got a new little. I showed Angelo in the thing, but I got a whole wall of office.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, Jake, my friend, I tell you what, we got to do this again. I'd love
We'll
to
do
be
this.
able to do an hour with you. I can only give you a
I think
half
my
hour
next.
tonight because I have to get ready for my show
All right.
at 7 o'clock, which is about 30 minutes from now.
All right.
So,
I will see you there. I'm gonna do a few minutes with the fans and
sure.
get it wrapped up here, and then I will see you on the show.
Fabulous. Take
All
care, my
right.
friend.
Thank you very
Bye
much.
bye, folks.
You want me to bring you want me to kick you out, or you
Yeah,
got that?
kick me out.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye.
All right. Thank you guys very. All right. That was a good show, guys. We got 30 minutes with him, so it's awesome. I'm gonna read some of these comments, guys. Sorry for not reading comments in the beginning. I'm just trying to get everybody. What's up, Jacob? What crew? Tiffany, guys. This show is actually amazing today. Yeah, I call flippers. I will. This is no. Good. That was a good show, and we will be at the top of the hour. We'll be going on to his. We won't be. It won't be live. We'll be recorded through Skype, and so. But you guys, this is a great show. And by the way, Evie and Harry, if you're watching, I did get the stuff. I did get the other package today. And also, if you guys noticed, I have the I'm gonna now since I can move around the office. I got the office, guys. I can move around now. I'm gonna move around for a few minutes. Sit in that chair for about 30 minutes. But now I got to do that other show. So yeah. All right. You know, guys, thank you so much, guys. Um, I really do appreciate everyone coming on. Sorry if I did was not talking or with. And also, if if anybody else, I have not been promoting this lately. By the way, we will be hold on. All right, if you guys enjoy, guys, if you guys enjoy the show, by the way, there is a thing. I'm still going to keep up the video, the 500 sub video, but here's the thing: we didn't get it because they is acting like morons. I want to say thank you so much for the people who come to this channel. Is gonna watch this not live. I want to say thank you so much, guys. Until I might do a show tomorrow, but Saturday is the next guest, and and that will be on the 2 o'clock time slot. So until then, and I might do one tomorrow, but until then, peace, love, and cornbread, y'all. Remember, DL means SOL. Love your family. Always take care of everybody around you, and always remember there's always time. There's always time to be with your family. There's always time to hug your family. Bye.